All right, let's get into this Tia story. Tia is a gift that keeps giving. She can't stop. As usual, it's not just men. Some women can't stop. Once they are caught up in their emotions, they just start to explain.
We go explain because no evidence.
No evidence, bruh. Okay, but there was some interesting things. There were some interesting comments that I saw, and I want to get through some of those comments one after the other, to really give some justice. There's a lot of stuff, okay, that I want to take them one at a time, okay, one at a time, and then we'll take you from there, shall we? Tia Mowry listened to her women and broke her home. Okay, Tia Mowry listened to her women and broke her home. Do you guys agree with that? Is that what happened? Do you think what happened to Tia Mowry is third parties? That's the actual question. Do you think what happened to Tia Mowry is basically third parties? A couple of questions I actually have around that. Is that what happened to her? Let's see. Interesting. Oh, okay. Right? Did she just listen to third parties? Are third parties big enough? Hold on one second. Let me just turn this thing off. Hold on one second. Are third parties big enough to break up a home? Oluyami say, is there evidence to support that? Yes, that's a good question too. Chia said, I disagree. Right? Can third parties break up your home? I think they can, right? But can you blame third parties for the breakup of your home? Can you really? Is that a place? Is that an empowered place to come from when it comes to why homes break up, right? Because this person left a comment. It says Tia Mowry listened to her women and broke her home. The actual comment says, shout out to the 10th Drago. It says, short of abuse, cheating, drug abuse, self-sabotage, or until death do you part, you never leave a marriage. Hey. Is this unrealistic expectations or what? Well, that's the comment right there. Short of cheating, drug abuse, self-sabotage, right? Let's see. What do y'all think? The second part of the comment is this. Let me find it for you. There you go. Okay, so this is the second part of the comment. She never said he did anything. Okay? She never said he did anything. So guess what? She listened to her fellow women and broke her home. End of the day, she has to deal with being uncovered. It's a loaded comment. What do y'all think? So third parties. Let me say this. Let me just say this really quickly, so we don't waste too much time on it. Right. Let me say this so we don't waste too much time on it. She never did. Okay, short of abuse, right? Which can be anything, by the way. It just depends on who is feeling abused, right? So if they're feeling abused, it's effectively abuse, but you might end up disagreeing with them. That no, that wasn't abuse. That was just a disagreement. And they were like, no, that's emotional abuse. No, that's verbal abuse. You call it disagreement? I think that's verbal abuse, right? So it becomes your words against mine. So that might be a good reason to leave a marriage, depending on the side that's feeling the heat, right? Cheating, drug abuse, self-sabotage, or until death do you part, you never leave a marriage, okay? So who is measuring the reason why anybody should leave the marriage? How are you measuring that? How are you quantifying that, right? Because for some people it's enough. For some other people it's not enough, right? So who is measuring it, right? That's just a question that you should ponder, right? She never said he did anything. Yeah, there are many reasons why she probably never said she did anything. That doesn't mean he did anything. But there are many other reasons outside of actually not doing anything that she might have decided not to say anything, right? So we don't know. That's my point. So guess what? She listened to her fellow women and broke her home. So she listened to third parties and broke her home, right? End of the day, she has to deal with being uncovered. No, it's one of our viewers. They made the comment on the video here, right? So let's see here. Mowry graduated, didn't she? Yeah, she graduated, right? But she's saying the dating scene is very harsh right now. So people are seeing that as, well, we told you so. You shouldn't have left that marriage, right? You shouldn't have left that marriage. We told you so. She left because it didn't seem as if it was serving her anymore. Chia said, yes, they can. They can do what? I missed that. No, they had financial infidelity rumors and respect issues. I don't believe this is a third party issue. Okay. All right. This person thinks she listened. All right. Who made that comment? Yep. Yeah, just one of our viewers. They're not stranger to us here. Just because she didn't say what went down in our marriage doesn't mean that nothing went down in the marriage. Make people, they get sense, I beg. Wahala. The graduation is not graduating, bro. She's trying to graduate, but she made a statement. I'll read that statement in a few minutes here, right? I'm trying to get back to this comment because this comment is loaded. This part right here, okay. Until death do you part, you never leave your marriage. Okay, the fact is that people are leaving the marriage, and we need to start addressing that and not just say you never leave your marriage. Clearly that's not working. We need something else, okay, so that they actually don't leave. Right? It's not about just saying it. We actually don't want people to leave, but not just not leave, but also actually nurture a healthy relationship, not just stay for just for the sake of, just because, right? She never said he did anything, so we already addressed that. So because what she listened to her, okay, so third parties is a given. There's no marriage that's broken up anywhere where some third party or the other is not involved. 1 or 2 times, 3 times, maybe the same person multiple times, or a couple of people. Third parties are usually a big part of that, right? You cannot blame third party for the demise of your marriage, directly, indirectly, in any way. You can't. The more you put attention on the third party, the worse it's gonna get for your marriage, because that's the reason why they were able to infiltrate your marriage in the first place. There was a crack in the wall, but then you now put the focus on them, and then you start blaming the third party. The third party is like environmental factor. It's like the rain, sunshine, like it's like things that would just happen, right? You don't get to blame that. What you can do is buy an umbrella, okay, and get about your business. That's all you can do, right? So are there going to be people that will whisper in the ears of your husband, that you might feel some type of way because they said something? Yes. But the worst part about this is that you're probably going to put all your focus on that person and then take your focus off of nurturing your relationship, rebuilding, reigniting, doing what you have to do. Right? Why? Because they are a distraction. Guess something that's very common about distractions. They are enticing. They capture your attention. They get your attention. Why? That's why they are distractions, right? So you have to put some extra work into that. So this idea that people are listening to other women, fellow women, and they broke their home, that's the inevitable. The question is that why was there some kind of gap or void in your situation in the first place? That's the real question. That's a question that you must get some answer before you move forward. The answer does not have to be it's your fault. I'm just saying you need to find the answer for that, right? Why was there any kind of gap or void in the first place for the devil, for the enemy to take advantage of, right? That void is your focus, not the enemy. The enemy is inevitable. It's always going to be there. Okay? And they might look like fellow women. They might look like social media. They might look like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Stop watching those shows. They might look like some kind of show that you don't want her to watch. Some kind of distraction. You're distracting yourself. Those things are given. Social media. You want to blame social media for the end of your marriage. You're going to shoot yourself on the leg even further. These are some of the mindsets that's creating the epidemic that you're seeing out here. Okay? Okay? So that's that right there. Let me see here. There's another comment. There's another comment here. That's a good one. I just thought, again, when I get this pushback, we can get to learn more from them. Okay. Somebody actually said, okay, shout out to the para soldier. All right, this comment right here says, "You stop the cap." I love it. Right, what does it say? It says, "You stop the cap. Living a marriage for no good reason is very common in Western English-speaking, feminist-controlled countries."
Stop the cap.
You see how I just collect woto. I should stop the cap, right? Alright. Living a marriage for no good reason. I don't recall. Maybe I said that. For no reason, I did say. There is usually a reason. For no good reason, it looks like this person just added that to the comments, okay? But maybe not, because I don't have time to go back and be looking at what I said, right? But precisely what I meant is for no reason. There's always a reason. There's no smoke without fire. It just doesn't make sense, okay? It just doesn't make any sense. Even if you want to tell me the reason is Western English speaking feminist controlled country, there's a reason. There's a discombobulation and disconnection. And listen, the statement is disconnected by itself, right? If you remove the good, because I don't think I said good, okay, there's always a reason. And when you shut off your brain to say there's no good reason, it's no wonder why you continue to perpetuate the same problem, because you're not even patient enough to ask further questions beyond your own idea of morality, right or wrong. You're not asking further questions, right? You just shut like, there's nothing there's no. They're just irreconcilable differences. It doesn't matter. They're just all living, right? That's not accurate. It's just not accurate. It doesn't make any sense, right? For no reason doesn't exist. For no good reason, that still leaves you open to, that's your opinion, right? What do you think a good reason is for a person to leave a marriage? What you might see as not good enough reason might be good enough for other people, right? Why? Because there's emotions involved in this, and you don't know what that's creating for them in terms of emotional turmoil in their brain. And they might just, what you might feel like, this is not a big deal. They're like, I've had enough. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I've had that, where people just have had enough, I've had enough. I've had enough for you might be different from the other person. So no good reason opens you up. That's an exposure for your opinion. What do you mean good reason? What would be a good enough reason for you? Chinyese, I was saying yes, outsiders can destroy your marriage if person don't get sense. Yes, of course. But it's not unique to your own marriage. There's third parties everywhere. Third parties will infiltrate your marriage if there's a wound. If there's an open wound somewhere, they will come in, not necessarily intentionally, but they will come in. Okay, even if it's just for entertainment purposes only. They will come and say, "Hey, what's up again? Oh my God!" They will come in, right? So sometimes it's very, very subtle. Sometimes it's like you went there to seek advice and everything in between, right? So, no, I'm not capping. There's a reason. And there's a reason why you must assume there's a reason. It's for your own good. So just in case it's not your fault, it doesn't have to be your fault. You can at least look and say, hey, maybe I can still do something about my family. Remember, we're talking about people that have a family. We're not talking about people that are not yet married, may not be able to relate all the way or comprehend all the way what it means for someone's family to break apart. You might not be able to understand that. But it's a big deal, ultimately. For you, I guess it's not obvious, but it's a big deal, right? So there's a quest. There's a continuous quest for why, and it should be, right? But when you get to a place where it's just for no reason, you're trying to make yourself feel better in the short term, okay? But the truth is that in the long term, you're still you. Your shadow is still following you everywhere you go because there's a light shining on you. Your problem is your problem. You cannot give it away. That is your problem still. So you have to do something about it. And it's not enough to shut down about it, right? You have to say, hey, there's a reason. There's no smoke without fire. There's a reason, right? If you think it's not a good enough reason, we can have that discussion too, right? But just because somebody put irreconcilable differences at the court system does not mean there's no real reason. Sometimes they're trying to protect still a loved one. A person who is still the mother of their kids, a person who is still the father of their kids, they're trying to protect that because if they don't protect that, they're also self-sabotaging. Speaking of self-sabotaging, they are also self-sabotaging in that case. Okay, so she made a statement. Let me go to her statement. She decided that she wanted to reply people after the whole brouhaha. She said she's not going back to the marriage. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Anyway, Tia Mowry says, can you guys see this? I think you guys can see it now, right? Let me make it bigger. She said, just because, we're going to end with this. She just said, just because the dating life is complicated doesn't mean I'm going to go back to something that no longer served me. Ouch. She called him something. And she also said, no longer serve me. Let the poor man breathe now.
Let be poor. Breathe.
The guy is not making any single statement. He's still collecting. After his wife dumped him. Ha!
Oh, beauty.
Let him breathe now.
Sorry, yo.
Let him be. You call him something and then you say no longer serve me. Right? Anyway, that's like saying if I don't book an audition, our part right away, I'm going to give up on my dreams as an actor. If I don't book an audition, our part right away, I'm going to give up on my dreams as an actor. So her dream is to keep moving into the future, further and further away from me. She said, please just stop. I ain't that weak. Please move on because I have. Thank you. Next. Anyway, gentlemen, this lesson is for you. It's not for her. She's moving on, obviously. Who is mad? Guess who's mad? The men are still mad. She doesn't want the marriage. It is what it is. She's moving forward. Okay? it's best for everyone to move forward. Okay, we will continue to move forward to cover these stories for as long as we continue to get lessons out of them. Okay, hit that like button. Okay, hit that like button. I beg. How do people still have this mindset in 2023? Listen, see what I said above was correct. The waiter has been serving her appropriately. She's done. She's over. She's done. Let's just call it a day. But for as long as we continue to get lessons out of this, because people are still commenting, guess who's mad? The guess who's mad people are commenting. So we'll continue to extract lessons out of that, okay? So thank you so much. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.